Hello, one more game here from the Olympiad in Dresden 2006. Magnus Norway is playing against Rowson, who is from England or Scotland or something like that. He's a lower rated player, as you can see here. But I thought this game was quite cool, so that's because I wanted to show you this. So Magnus is going for the stone wall here. It might be that Magnus would have liked to try this called, I think this is called a note boom. How is it going now? I think it's a5 here, I think. Or no, not a5. Yeah, it's bishop, so it's like this, bishop b4. Let's promote and maybe delete that one. It's bishop b4 and it's here. Now it's this one. Yeah, it's this. It's a strange line. White gets the center, black gets two passers. Now it's this one first. Promote. And now it's this one. Okay, that's the note boom. Maybe Magnus would have played that one. If you play, this is called sometimes called a triangle shape, and sometimes you want to go for the note boom, but it's always possible to go into a stone wall. In this game, Magnus is stonewalling. Stonewall is a good. It's both a solid game, but if you play like Magnus does here, it's like you're playing the slab with the pawn here. And as you probably know, if this one was here, White's plan would be, to play for the e4 break. Now when White doesn't have that one, it's not so clear what White should do actually. So it's like you're playing a slab with the pawn here. It's quite good relatively good for black. This is interesting. Probably better for White to trade when he has the chance. Maybe something like this, go for an endgame. Because it's quite interesting, I think, that Magnus now decides to keep the bishop, and it will become this structure that we have seen Magnus play a few times already, the hanging pawns structure. When White takes, black takes backs, it's called hanging pawn structure, 2 pawns here against these White's pawns. And it's considered an interesting typical position, which is called tabia. So it's an interesting tabia. Okay, now we can see both the disadvantage and the advantage. It's like if White would take, you could take with this one, of course. Also interesting that Magnus doesn't recapture. Like, why doesn't he recapture? It's because this one is hanging, so he has to take care. Okay, so this is also interesting. What's happening here? Magnus is so I'm going back here. Okay, so we have the hanging pawn structure here. It's fine. It's an interesting fine structure, also solid for White. So it will be easy to see how Magnus is doing it. One plan is sometimes to go here, trade it, and try to put some pressure on this pawn. And also sometimes black can push the c4 for pawn, some variations. So let's see what Magnus is doing. It's good to follow Magnus's games in these kind of tabias, so you know how to place your pieces, because he has this extraordinary ability. It must be something, you know, I'm not a biologist, but something like in his brain, the what's called like the brain cells connecting each other and tells him what to do subconsciously, I think. So that's interesting. He decides to take here. It's a strong white knight, so not so strange. And if white takes like he did, then of course this is a pass. So if it takes like this, then yeah, there are some chances for an attack here. d4. Yeah, this pawn is, it's not so valuable compared to this. Now the bishop is shut off also. Okay, it's this pushing pawn here. Also interesting that he's moving back, because that is quite interesting. And this is nice. This was the move why I chose to include this game. I think this pawn, this sacrifice, like we have already talked, this bishop is not so very good. Like it's, but the main reason is that he wants to get the knight here, and we should see how devastatingly good that is soon. So here, if this one, white could try this move. So he's sacrificing one more pawn, and of course this open the line here for the bishop, no, for the queen. And Magnus' opponent makes a mistake here. He makes queen e2. Better would this have been? Thing like this and this, and it's under control for right now. What about this? Okay, you can go there, here. Okay. And this is of course major blunder. He had to prevent the queen to go here by playing e6 himself. Then Magnus would have went here, and this rook is threatened, so he should move it. This, and this is also so pretty cool. The queen is almost trapped here. Like he can go here, of course, and here, but he can't go here. He can't go there because the fork. And what if he goes here? He can take here. Okay, that's a nice tactic. It's, you see again, this pawn, he opened for this pawn, and I can see now if he takes here, then this one is a checkmate. Don't know if Magnus saw this far, but it's a beautiful line here, that he can't do this one because of this. Now there is this problem again. Has to do f3. Okay, so if it takes take, then this pawn is queening. And if he goes up with the king, Magnus can go back. What's the threat now? Obviously this is a threat. So if he moves this, okay, so this is also a threat apparently. Yeah, and it's winning my mate in 13 apparently. So he tried e6. And he had to give up the queen. Yeah, if it goes here, this, and it's threatening here with check. So he has to give up the queen. Take. I can't even block because of this. Yeah, it's already forced mate here, but yeah. Also something like this is winning, of course, because of white's weak king. Yeah, I like this one. Nice game by Magnus.